as Christians, we're followers of the radical, prophetic Jesus and the early church that spent its time in and out of prison. Yeah. And this is unrecognizable now for most Christians these days in their comfort in their church pews. So I see it as my job at the moment to try and get the church off its bottoms and get them on the streets. Because I think we have an ideology that is wholly compatible with what we're trying to get to happen, and underpins and undergirds, I think faith communities generally undergird what it is that we're trying to do, and perhaps give us resilience to keep going for the long term. Because firstly, we're about telling the truth. We're about telling the truth of what is actually happening, not covering it up and making it feel not so bad and all the rest of it. Secondly, we're about justice. And all of this, we've heard from the previous speakers where Louis was talking about this, it's about justice, isn't it, for the present generations that are having their lives taken away from them, mainly in the global south, of course, the people who contributed least to all this, having their lives completely taken from them, and also for the justice for the future generations, as we know. And I'm continually saying in court, your children have no future. I'm saying it in police vans. I think Ruth sometimes thinks it's a bit stark and bleak, you know. Have you got children? I don't have children. Your children have no future. And your grandchildren. We have to say it, I think, that starkly. So telling the truth and making clear that justice is at the centre of this. Thirdly, it's about self-sacrifice, as everybody knows, but particularly the people who, I haven't been to prison, but the people who have been to prison know this so well, and we've heard eloquently from them. But we have to do what it takes, whatever it is, isn't it? And I try every morning to say in my prayer time to God and to myself mainly, whatever it takes, whatever the cost. That's what we're having to look at, isn't it? And the more we succeed in a way, the more pushback we're going to get from governments and from other people. Other people, paradoxically, the more we tell the truth, the more we fight for this, the more we're going to get the pushback from people who want to bury their head in the sand, not listen, tell us to go to hell and all the rest of it, and draconian reactions from the government. And fourthly, it's about obedience. I often say that this is not about civil disobedience, it's about obedience to a higher truth. I mean, all of us here might see it, name that truth differently. I would name it as about obedience to God and following Jesus in his steps on the way of the cross. It's about obedience. So when people say, should you be breaking the law and all the rest of it? Of course we should break the law if the law is evil. We find that's why Jesus died on the cross. He was breaking the law. It's so obvious, isn't it? And fundamentally, and finally, for what I want to say now, it's about love. Because perfect love, as we're taught in the scriptures, perfect love casts out fear. And what we do out of love. For love for our children, for the future generations, love for our neighbours, love for the beautiful planet that God created, for all the creatures on it. We do it out of love, and out of that comes our non-violence, our non-violent being when we are surrounded by hostile people or the powers of the state. we are called upon to love them all as well, and that's often a challenge. But we need to be seen to be doing this out of love. And that's at the heart of Christianity, I think. Heart of many of the great faiths. The heart of being a human being, isn't it? So whatever it takes, whatever the cost, we're going to keep going at this. Yeah?
Yeah.